Today we're going to talk about something different in terms of our Kendo exercises. Last night during a group discussion about how our club is doing demonstrations and Zoom videos, we were looking at ways to make it more exciting for the people participating. And one of the members brought up a great idea, and I want to talk about it now, and that is circuit training. Many of you may have taken part in circuits before, and today we're going to talk about two ways that we're going to make our Kendo workouts more dynamic. And the first one we're going to talk about before we get into Kendo specific circuits is just general workouts using circuits. And there are two ways we want to talk about that. And the first one is our standard or interval training, and the second one is a challenge circuit. So first I would just want to talk about what a standard interval training is. And that is when somebody makes basically a set routine. Often I tend to use a 3-minute routine. 3 minutes, high intensity, 6 different exercises. So that means what happens is prior to actually beginning, I explain here are the 6 different, and I pick 6 different exercises, and these can change every time. And then each exercise will be done for 30 seconds at your highest intensity. That is to say, we're not counting a number, we're trying to do as many as we can in the 30 seconds while still maintaining proper form. All right, and so that's the first one I want to talk about. So for example, I might have the first one be mountain climbing, and the second one be jumping jacks, and the third one be high knees, and have 6 different exercises. And then prior to beginning and engaging with everybody, all right, I will demonstrate, for example, mountain climbing. So I'll get the proper position, I'll demonstrate that we shift one knee forward and the other knee back. All right, or high knees. Right, and there's a lot of different exercises people can do in these cases. And essentially, you'll demonstrate all 6. You'll set up a routine for the first time, and then you'll have a go at it. Now, a couple of things as the instructor, I always keep a timer with me. So basically at 20 seconds, I let everybody know in 10 seconds, we're switching to the next exercise. And there's lots of different exercises you can do. So these can be simple routines like push-ups, holding plank, all right, high knees, all right, or they can be more complicated ones. All right, now in the more complicated ones, they could be 30 seconds of holding a pose. For example, you could be trying to ask people to hold a yoga pose. And there are lots of different variations on that, but it's like 30 seconds, that whole 30 seconds becomes that movement. So for example, one could be having people do boat pose or bow pose, which is a variation. And you'd have to first demonstrate it and then 30 seconds. So if you would do a bow pose is a variation on a locust pose where you actually grab your heels and then kick up and push forward. And you try to hold it with your core tight and hard for 30 seconds. All right. Other variations. All right. You could be doing an extension where essentially you're holding your high plank, but you're bringing your knee to one side and holding it for 30 seconds. Now, in the case of something like this, where it is an extension or rotation, you also want another 30 seconds doing the other rotation, or 15-15. All right? Lots of different variations on exercises you can do. And if you want to change it, you can add various things. For example, one of the ones I like to do is, I know students, when I'm coaching, don't like to do push-ups, so I make them do a combination vinyasa style, where they have to go down from plank, then they have to come up into cobra, back into upward dog, and again, down, nice and soft, up, out. Now we're still doing our push-ups, but we're making it more interesting. And with 6 different exercises, there are lots of different ways you can make this interesting during your training. But any kind of circuit can help you make it work very well. Now, the second type of circuit I want to talk about is a challenge circuit.
And it's different from an interval circuit because whereas in an interval circuit, you're challenging yourself to do as many as you can. In a challenge, there's a specific number. And that being said, the whole point is how fast can you do it? Again, still proper form. Now, if you're going to be doing it in that situation, what you're looking now is at a specific number. Maybe it's 30 mountain climbing, where each rotation front and back is 1. And then the second exercise could be 40 jumping jacks. And the whole point is at the end of all 6 exercises, whoever is first is obviously the champion of that specific set. Now, these are all great exercises and there are tons more. And in the video, I've got a lot of descriptions and other exercises and variations on which ones you can pick for just doing regular circuits. But now we want to talk about some specific ones that are great just for Kendo.
Go.
Greetings, Kendoka. So we're back looking at more circuits, but this time we're trying to do them Kendo specific and related. So what we're going to talk about is doing the same concept, only specific for Kendo and sword related. So the first one I want to talk about is the obvious one, which is high suburi. So, right, there's 2 ways to do this. If it's interval training, we're just trying to do as many as possible. And if it's competition, we have a specific number we're going for. But if it was interval training, and this was the first interval, we'd be demonstrating first. So high suburi, proper form, all right? And we'd be trying to remind our members that to avoid all of the bad habits. So some of the bad habits are right? Your feet have to be separate. So it's not just 1, 2, 1, 2, all right? Watch out for the chicken cut where you try to bring your hands above your head and your head forward. As opposed to bring them above your head. Keep your head solid. All right, so we're looking at teaching. Move. And that would be the first exercise that we could do of our 6 exercises. There's lots of different variations on different things you could do with your group. One of them, of the 6, could be doing something like a combination. So kote men in high suburi, right? Or it could just be kote men coming back. And as many as you can do, or a specific interval. All right. Other options, all right, we can do variations on cutting drills. So I have one here, and I'm going to demonstrate, and all you need is a towel. Now normally we would do something like this with a partner, but all you need is a towel, a little bit of space, and the interval this time could just be practicing your tenouchi. So you're coming down and trying to do as many as you can in 30 seconds or a specific number. And that's one specific exercise we could do. Now there are a couple of more, all right, and they could involve us changing, not just simply going with our obvious cuts, but trying something different. So one that can be done shoulder width apart, doing blocking cuts. And we could be doing this for 30 seconds as our interval. All right? Or we could be doing multi-directional cuts. So, cut, switch, cut, switch, cut. All right? Or there's even variations on high suburi in which we change the angle. So instead of just forward and back, try rotating to your right. That's one set. So there's lots of different exercises we could do. We could incorporate lots of different types of swings and cuts, and all of them will help us to rate it. So when you're making your own circuit, be creative. Think of all the different 6 activities you want to do. If it's a competition, think about how long it's going to take you to have each member do each one of these things. So thank you for watching, appreciate it. And any additional exercises you do, please feel free to share. Thank you.